What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Axe Creation. Today we're going to be looking at something that troubles a lot of beginner guitar players, and that's how to sound musical very early on. Now, a lot of us learn our simple open position chords, and we just want to pick up the guitar, strum, play around, and make it sound good. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at a couple tips on how to make it sound a little more dynamic and not so stale sounding. So the first thing we're going to look at is a rhythm, okay? If you like a certain rhythm or like a certain song, just steal the rhythm and strum your chords to it. You don't have to come up with some original idea. So the rhythm we're going to look at is very common, pop and rock. It's very simple. Basically it sounds like this. Okay, so it's 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 4. So a lot of what we're going to do today is focusing on the right hand. Now when you strum, we want to try to have our right hand strum up and down, so this way it's counting 8 notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Alright, so the way we're going to strum this pattern is we're going to be down, down, up, up, down, up. So we're tying over to the third beat. So it's 1, 2, and 4, and. So we're skipping 3. So the chords we're going to look at is going to be a very simple, a C chord. If you're unfamiliar with that, it's 3 starting on your 5th string, 3, 2, open, 1, open. 3, 2, just like that. So what we're going to do is actually going to add our ring finger to the low string 3rd fret, which is G, and we're just going to add that note. So we're going to actually play the root of the chord with our pinky and take our ring finger and put it on our low string. It just adds a real nice low end depth to the chord. And then we're going to switch to a simple E minor chord. Alright, so if you're unfamiliar with that chord, it's just starting from your low string, open, 2, 2, open, open, open. Okay? So now, a lot of people, they start out and they start strumming these chords, and you strum all of your strings. This tends to be very loud and very abrasive. And the first little tip that we can do is break that up. You have 6 strings, so try to think about your 3 low strings as your bass strings, your 3 high strings are your treble strings. So as you strum this rhythm, break it up. Don't always strum all 6 strings. And you can start out, Alright, you can even strum on the downbeat of 1, give your chord a nice roll. Right, so you're kind of bouncing back between the low strings and the high strings. And keep in mind, when you do this, it doesn't really matter which strings you hit specifically. You're still playing the same chord overall. So when you look at the transcription of this lesson, don't be so locked into the tabs. Like he's playing the 3rd string and the 2nd string and that's all I have to play. Just strum in that area and you'll achieve the sound that we're looking for. So now if we do that for both chords, much nicer than just strumming all our strings at the same time. And you might have noticed that I pick up my hand in between my chord changes. Now this is a tip, especially if you're just starting out and having trouble changing your chords. You can do this and get away with it. Most people won't even notice it, and it'll help you get to the next chord. So basically on the last hit, or the last 8th note of your chord before you change, just pick up and strum your open string. So if I go like that, your ear won't pick that up and it'll help smooth out your chord change. So let's take that step a little farther, and instead of constantly strumming, we can add some picking out of your chords. You can take the same rhythm and just pick them out. If you wanted to do something like that. Or we can combine the two and strum and pick out. And this is really nice, and when you pick out your chords, you'll tend to start hearing melody within the strings that you choose to play. And remember, again, it doesn't really matter as long as you think it sounds good, because you're still playing the overall chord and nothing's going to change. So let's try that. Let's try to strum a little bit. And we're keeping the same rhythm. We still have. So now we're not just constantly strumming, or we're not just picking out chords, we're adding and mixing in the two. And you can go back and forth, however you like. It's just a nice way to break up your static playing. And again, you're not just playing, which is kind of harsh on the ear. I know I played that turnaround a little quickly, but if we just, it's a very simple basic turnaround, if we based off of C, starting on our 3rd fret of our 5th string, that's 3-2-0, and then 2-0-0, and then hit your open A, a quick little slur to the B, which is the 4th fret of your G string from 2, so you go back down, 2 open, 2-0 on your D string. Just to fill to kind of turn around the example we're playing. But if you notice, I even applied the rhythm of our strum to the fill. Right? So there you go, some simple little tricks to just add a little dynamics to your playing. So I can hope you can apply some of these techniques that we've been talking about today, breaking up your strum, picking out your chords, picking up your hands if you're having trouble changing chords, and all of that will just help your playing early on sound very musical. So the transcriptions for this lesson are on my site, axecreation.com. Take a look at them, and remember, don't be locked in to what strings I'm playing. It's just a guideline. You're still just playing the entire chord. So as always, let me know what you come up with, and until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.